Hey everybody, Ditch Dude 62 here. We got the Glock 29 in 10mm. It is the same frame as a Glock 30 in the 45 caliber. Today we're going to strip this one down, not completely, but most everything you can do with the Glock punch tool, which is just about everything on the gun for a few little exceptions. As always, we want to make sure the gun is clear, no live ammo in it. Mag clear, and we're clear and good to go. We'll pop the slide off first thing. That comes right out. Then we'll get the spring out and barrel. Okay, now what we've got left in here is the firing pin and a safety plunger inside here. Now to get the firing pin out, we've got to relieve the pressure off of the back plate. So again, with the Glock tool, I'm going to press down on this plastic sleeve inside of here and then slide off the back plate. Now you want to keep a finger over that because there is spring pressure on that. Sometimes they want to tend to fly out. So now we do that. We get the firing pin out and spring, and the plunger for the safety also comes right out the back. Okay, then from there we can get the extractor, ejector out. That comes right out. There, it fell right out there. And then the plunger comes right out of the bottom there. There's a little spring on the bottom of that. You want to make sure you don't lose. That usually stays right in there though. Okay, now with the exception of the sights, which this one has aftermarket True Glows on there, everything is stripped off of this slide. It's a bare slide now. We're going to put all that aside, and we're going to take a few parts out of the frame of the gun now. Okay, now that we have the slide all stripped down, we're left with the frame and to tear that down, and that is basically 3 pins holding it together. Again, the only tool we've used so far is the punch tool. It's amazing what you can do with these. That's why these Glocks are so liked by everyone. They're so easy to take apart. Okay, so there's one pin. Slide block comes out. Sometimes they're a little sticky when the guns are newer, but you don't want to use a hammer to drive these things out. They will push out with a little bit of force. The more you do it, the easier it is to get. Now this one to get your slide stop lever out, this pin can be a little bit tricky. Generally what you want to do is move this slide stop lever up and down a little bit if it's not coming out good for you. The reason being, there's some grooves in this pin, and this lever gets locked up on it. So if you work that out slowly, now this one is coming out good for us, and that's out there. Now you can slide out the slide stop lever and put that aside. All 3 pins are out now. Next thing to come out is the slide block, this piece of metal here. That pops straight up and out. Then your trigger group will lift out. There's a few more details in this thing that we could work on. Your connector and the springs that are inside can be changed for improved trigger pressure on that. We're not going to do anything with that today. Maybe in another video we will, because there's a few little tricks we can do to that one. But right now we're going to leave it all stock way and leave it like that. 2 more things to come apart here is your slide lock lever, which is right here. This happens to be the factory one. You can buy an aftermarket one that sticks out a little bit further, which makes it a little bit easier to work on the gun with, but not necessary. So what we want to do with that is, again, you can use a small screwdriver or your punch tool and push down on the spring inside of here. And if you saw that, the lever dropped right out of the gun. That's how simple it should be. Putting it back in, you want to make sure you put it in correctly. There's a groove on the front edge of this thing which locks up with your barrel. That keeps the slide on your gun when you fire it. If it's turned around, you have the possibility of the whole slide coming off your gun when you fire it. So make sure the grooved area is facing to the back of the gun on that. So that's an important feature to remember there. Now the only other thing we have left is the mag release button. Okay, to get that out, inside the handle is a spring. It's a little hard to see. I don't think we're going to see it here. I'm going to try to fish it out here. Basically, it's just popping it out backwards, and there. Once you release it, you can pull out the mag release. Mag release comes out. A little trick getting it back in. You can start it with the screwdriver. Put the screwdriver in and push that piece of the spring back, then slide the mag release in behind it. Then you're going to have to pull your screwdriver out, push it the rest of the way in. You got to make sure it doesn't get into the groove yet. Okay, then once it gets in, then what you have to do is push the spring back into the little slot in there. And then once you feel spring pressure back on it, and then you'll see it popping in there. It's kind of hard to show on this that it's back in, but that's back in now. So that's it. The slide has been stripped. You've seen that, and now the frame has been stripped. I put the mag release back in it. Basically, we'll just put everything back in the same order. So now the mag release is back in. What I want to do is put my trigger group back in. That will drop right in. You can put that rear pin in. Again, when you push them out one way, you want to put them back in from the same side they came out of. That one goes in just with finger pressure there. Locking block pushes right in. And the locking block is in. We're going to put the slide stop lever back in again. Again, that fits in the little groove over on the side. Work it down in there. Now the key to this piece, when you're done, it needs to have downward pressure with that spring to keep it down. If not, if it's floating, when you're firing, it's gonna stay up and it's gonna lock your slide back, and you'll have failures to fire there. So this is an important part to have done correctly. Okay, and again, we want to start from the back side to the front. See how that's snapping back down? That's correct. And then the last is the top pin. That one might need a little bit more help. I'll push down on that. And that goes right in. Now, we've got the slide lock piece to go back in, remembering that the groove goes to the back. I'm going to start on the one side, push your spring down. Again, sorry for the camera angle and the hands in the way. And it'll snap right into place. So we're back in. Spring pressure, again, that's very important, that that's correct and that this is in the correct way. So we're all back together on our lower frame. Okay, with our frame back together, fully assembled, the only thing left to do is put the slide on and the mag back in, and you're ready to go. Slide on, working, magazine, lock. Okay, ready to go. Thanks for watching. Any questions or comments, please leave them. Thanks again for watching.